Folks, I've got some news for you, and you might want to sit down for this. Because the world, it's getting a little less welcoming, especially if you're an American. Countries around the world are putting up walls, literally and figuratively. From political tensions to new visa laws, we're diving deep into the 10 countries that are saying see you later to Americans. Let's start with our neighbors to the south, shall we? Mexico, land of tacos, tequila, and apparently a rapidly shrinking welcome mat for Americans. For years, Mexico has been a haven for American retirees, spring breakers, and digital nomads. But the fiesta, my friends, seems to be winding down. Mexico's getting a bit fed up with Americans overstaying their welcome. They've got economic woes, crime concerns, and a whole lot of folks looking for a better life. And increasingly, they're looking at the influx of Americans and thinking, hey, wait a minute. We're talking surprise raids, visa scrutiny, and deportations. So the moral of the story is this. Mexico might be known for its warm hospitality, but that doesn't mean you should test the limits of a tourist visa. Next up, we're jetting off to India, the land of spices, spirituality, and increasingly suspicion towards Americans. India and the US have had a complicated relationship, but lately things have taken a turn for the less welcoming. India's become more discerning about who they let through their doors. Take NGO workers, for example. Visas are being denied, applications lost, and some are even being asked to leave. Then there are the religious missionaries. Proselytizing is about as welcome as a mosquito at a picnic. India's cracking down on what they see as forced conversions. Even regular tourists aren't immune. India's sending a message. Come for the Taj Mahal, but don't overstay your welcome. Hold on to your fez, folks, because we're heading to Turkey. Turkey's always been a geopolitical tightrope walker, but in recent years that balancing act has gotten trickier. Political tensions with the US, economic woes, and a rise in nationalism have all contributed to a growing sense of American fatigue. Residency permits are now being denied with increasing frequency. Even tourists haven't been spared from this shift. The message is clear. Turkey's charm offensive, at least when it comes to Americans, is officially over. Hold on to your chopsticks, folks, because we're venturing into the Middle Kingdom. China's never been known for its open-door policy, but in recent years, that wall of control has grown even higher. Take journalists, for example. Visas are being delayed, denied, and even revoked. It seems China's not keen on having its narrative challenged. And then there are the NGO workers. Organizations dealing with human rights or environmental issues are facing increased scrutiny. Even businesses and academics are finding the going tough. China's sending a clear message. We're open for business, but on our terms. Pack your imaginary ushankas, comrades, because we're heading to Russia. The relationship between the US and Russia has always been complicated. But in recent years, that chess match has started to look a lot more like a game of Risk. Journalists are now finding themselves denied visas, harassed, detained, and even expelled. Tourists, students, even business people are finding it increasingly difficult to get into Russia. Visa applications are being rejected for vague reasons. The message from the Kremlin is clear. Russia's closing ranks, and Americans are not invited to the party. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because we're jetting off to the United Arab Emirates. The UAE has always been a place where rules are meant to be followed, and Americans are finding themselves on the wrong side of those laws with alarming regularity. Criticize the government, share anything deemed offensive, and you could find yourself facing fines, deportation, or worse. Public displays of affection, dressing inappropriately, and even using offensive language can all land you in hot water. The message is clear. Come to the UAE for the sunshine and the shopping, but leave your Western sensibilities at home. Get ready to dust off those lederhosen, folks, because we're heading to Germany. Germany has always been known for its love of order, but in recent years that love of order has extended to its immigration policies. Visas are being denied, residency permits revoked, and some Americans are even facing deportation. It's a harsh reminder that in Germany rules are rules. Chapter 8. Brazil, what goes around comes around. Grab your sunscreen and your Portuguese phrasebook, folks, because we're heading to Brazil. Starting in 2025, Americans will once again need a visa to set foot on Brazilian soil. Is it a coincidence that this new policy comes after years of the US making it harder for Brazilians to visit? Brazil's making it clear that reciprocity is the name of the game. Chapter 9. Japan, Sayonara to the easy life. Prepare to bow your heads, folks, because we're traveling to Japan. Japan has always been a country that values hard work and dedication, but in recent years the government is sending a clear message to foreigners, especially Americans. If you're not contributing, you're not welcome. The government is tightening the screws on work visas. Digital nomads are also finding it tougher to stay put. Japan's sending a message. We admire your entrepreneurial spirit, but this is our house. Chapter 10, Canada. Sorry, not sorry. Bundle up, eh? Because we're heading north to Canada. Canada has always had a reputation for being welcoming to immigrants, but even Canada has its limits. The influx of Americans has put a strain on Canada's resources and its patience. The government is now cracking down on visa overstays and tightening border controls. Canada's open arms are starting to close. The world is changing. Are you? The welcome mat is being rolled up and Americans are finding themselves on the outside looking in. The days of assuming we're welcome everywhere are over. It means it's time to wake up, pay attention, and adapt.